Hello everyone and welcome to the Trade Ideas live trading room for Thursday, December the 7th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Any questions for me, you can use this email address. This is a link to get into our free room. It is a free room. You don't have to be a member of Trade Ideas to participate. And this is a link for a subscription to Trade Ideas. I typically open the room at about 9 o'clock Eastern Time. That's when I start to share my screen, and I get live on the mic about 5 minutes later. I go to 3:30 Monday to Thursday, and only to about 3 o'clock on Friday. All right, well, very nice day for me, actually. First trade really set the tone for me. Let me just expand this. Come on. Sorry about that. I'll just get the chart a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay, so Mayo. So why did I take Mayo? Mayo had some news. Mayo had some news here. I think it was 2 days ago. Kind of a muted reaction to the news. It was that some fund took a what they call a passive, just under 10% position in them. Kind of really nothing happened. And then yesterday, look what happened. And of course, I'm always looking left to see what sort of a void there is. And let's get back to the 15. So when I saw it this morning, and yesterday it almost got up to 3, but not quite. After hours, a little poke above 3. Then this morning, it got in the pre-market. There's the pre-market action right there, okay? It was over 3. So I decided that what I would do is I would take the trade, and I took it in the pre-market actually, 310, and basically said that if it got down, in fact it was 295, 297 or so was my stop. Look what it did, almost got stopped out, and then boom. I mean, this was just an amazing first move for me. So again, in at 310. Sold some at 332 on the way up, and 340 and 348 also. And then I just sold. I was hanging on to the rest just to see if it would maybe bounce off that 3. And I took it out right here around 315, 316 on this downward move. So just a really nice first trade. Let's see, from Holly Ecom. I'm in this one. Doesn't move very much. There was the alert at 9:10. I got in at 9:15. But more importantly, and I got this question in the room. Why does Holly look at trades like this when at this point there wasn't very much volume, and Holly is day trading, etc. And it's a very good question. It's a great question. But you have to understand that the Holly alerts, yes, we get out of every trade by the end of the day, so it looks like it's just day trading. But they're not set up that way. We only do that so we can compare ourselves to the SPY on a daily basis, because people are asking us, well, how are you doing? Well, how do we tell people how we're doing? Well, we say, okay, here's what the SPY has done, and here's what Holly has done. So that's the only reason. But, I mean, look at this daily chart. This is what really attracted me to it. Obviously, there's a massive void up here. Where's the 200-day? 1092 is the 200-day moving average, so it's right up here. I'm not saying it's going to fill this, but when I see a chart that looks like this, this candle here is taking all this out, looks like it's starting to move. So, all the Holly alerts, you can choose if you want, especially if you see a daily chart that looks like this, you can choose to hold it. There's no, you don't have to get out just because Holly gets out of the trade by the end of the day. So anyway, I'm in this one at 9:15, and kind of just holding on to it and seeing what happens by the end of the day. And now I want to show you a new window that I created, very simple one. I call it the small gap breakout. All right, because what I'm trying to find on this one is that it's wonderful. Yes, to see the big gap trades or the big gap stocks, and then try to chase them on momentum. Not just chase them, but I mean they're up already a lot, and maybe they consolidate and then get back in or get into them, or maybe you do chase them depending on what's happening. But what I was trying to do is say, okay, let's restrict the gap. Now again, the gap is the first print of the day, right? So let's just take a look at the filters here. So I want the gap. So when it opens, I want that first print to be no more than 1% above the previous close, or more than 1% down from the previous close. In other words, it's going to be pretty tight to the close. And then I want to say, okay, let's find out if we can catch some of these ones that are nice momentum trades a little bit earlier, rather than, I mean, the gap filter is great. You put a 5% gap in, and these things are, obviously moving and all, but it'd be nice maybe to catch them a little bit earlier. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. So I took a couple of trades here. Now I've changed this. I have changed this window a couple of times. So 12:38. I mean, there were obviously a lot of alerts before that. Momo was one of them. And I'm not saying it was spectacular. Let's see. In fact, you had to be quick on it. But I believe the Momo alert, 2414, is where I got into this one. 2414. I think I had the alert right around here. Waited for the break over that whole number. So I took this trade right here, and look what it did, though. I mean, it got up to 2437, 2442. In fact, I think I got it on this. Oops, just a second. I think I got it on this candle. Bottom line is, this was a massively quick trade. Got in at 2414, and got out almost very, very, very quickly. The other one was, now this one didn't work quite as spectacularly, but EXTR. And understand, this is a work in progress. I think I got the alert on this candle, and at 1313 I took it, and I got out at 1324, and then when it came back down. So I'm not saying they're not all going to rip higher. In fact, it probably would have had I probably got the alert right down here, because remember, these are high, or right there. These are high of the day breaks, as long as they did not gap up too much. But I also have a filter that they have to be up 2% now. Okay, so once we have that opening print that is within 1% of the open of the close yesterday, then they've also got to be up 2%. I may change that. I may change that to 1%, just to see what happens. I'm also will probably at the beginning of the day, the filter right here is for 300,000 shares. I may change that to 50,000 shares at the beginning of the day, because a lot of these things are just starting out, and I don't want to have to restrict it to 300,000 shares. Imagine this was one of them. Maybe at 300,000 shares it was up here, but at 50,000 shares it was down here. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So again, this is a work in progress, but again, if you want this one, I just call it the small gap breakout. You're more than welcome to have it. So that's it for today. I want to get back into the trading room. A lot of exciting things happening. So again, if you want to ask me any questions, just use this email address. You want to join our trading room, our free trading room. It's right here. You don't have to be a member of Trade Ideas. This is a link for a subscription to Trade Ideas, and I'll open the room at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Just bring back my capture program. So everybody have a great evening, and hopefully we'll see you in our trading room tomorrow at around 9 o'clock Eastern. Bye-bye.